Hey, 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 what's going on? Welcome to Sometimes You Have to Lose Yourself. My name is Charlie Perry, along with Marvin Speller, Coach M100. What's going on, Coach?
What's going on, brother? How you feeling, man?
Same old stuff, man. Different day.
Same
Little,
old different day. Okay.
little hot, muggy. Uh, finally got the right AC in the right window, so things are doing better in the house.
That's great.
Um, However, this top floor, man, is definitely a heat wave up here. So
Okay.
got to straighten it out within a day or so I can be a whole lot cooler
I
when I'm
understand.
up here up top. So, all right, man. So, what's going on?
Man, life is going well, man. No complaints, and I look forward my annual getaway. I'm going to Oklahoma in a couple weeks.
Nice.
Kind of the monotony a little bit. So I was there a year ago. They have a holiday session in the summer.
Hmm.
And I'll be out for that. Should be a lot of fun. Chance to get away from LA for a little bit, hustle and bustle, and keep moving. It won't give me a small break from everything because I'll make the official announcement probably next week about the book. But this opportunity to promote people live in person and same time, man, I'm incredibly excited about just the works around that and all I'm doing to, bring that to life, which is really a lifelong accomplishment.
Yeah, got to be excited about it. It's like a Christmas in July when you finally do that, and it's a gift, gift, gift you were given by by or I would say God, spiritually. I don't know where you're at in life, but God gives us blessings, and I think for you to sit and kind of let your mind flow, and you end up producing a book that is most likely going to reach 1 million people, like you said, and
Oh,
that's a blessing.
it's going to reach one way or another.
Yeah,
It's going to definitely reach that. I'm excited about it. I've said many times, I wish I had this book when I first started out, especially when it comes to really capturing your mind and moving your mind to a certain place.
yeah, actually, yes, I agree. The one thing I like about the book, right? Any books that I read, but ones that are personally involved with me and my experiences or just my poetry or whatever. Every time I reopen a book, I
Mhm.
see something else. I miss
Mhm.
it. I'm like, I'm supposed to be the author.
Right.
And why am I missing? Why did I miss this? Or why is this inspiring me now? There's always something that comes out of a reading. Um, no matter how many times you read a book, there's something else, whether things change, a different perspective, whatever. But I can't wait for my first experience to read your book. And there's no doubt in my mind I'm going to read it within a day um, because I'm
Oh
that.
yeah, that's the purpose. I could easily add another 50, 60 pages with fluff, but this is kind of straight to the point,
Yeah.
and it tells a story and brings you in and lets you know about the ins and outs, the why behind it, and it starts to go into some stories, and then you start going into things that can go out. And a lot of these things I discovered, and you know, trial by error. A lot of times people can write something about experience they've gone through. You rarely see people write about things that they haven't had an opportunity to experience, and it's about sharing. Um, I've said this many times. Sometimes life's experiences are your greatest teacher, and sometimes the things that you're being taught is really about yourself. And this is what I get to share. And just coming forward straight from the heart. And um, you know, some people may not want to do that, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Everything's okay, man, because you're looking at all this stuff from your perspective, right?
Hmm.
And so, really, right or wrong to that, and how you approach certain things. And I part of the message too is like, hey, however you do this, however you move from A to Z, it's always okay. Because a lot of times it's your perspective. But sometimes in action, knowing, things can happen to you not the best way.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And it's so true. Um, the you go you get towards the midnight hour, right? The midnight hour of your book.
Mhm.
And is there any hesitation on this?
Hmm. Hesitation in terms of what?
Uh that it's not ready, or hesitation I shouldn't write this.
No hesitation in doing it. It has to be done.
Okay.
Think about time and resources to put. It has to come out.
All right.
Hesitation with that? No. But you never feel like it's complete.
Hmm.
I mean, I almost feel sometimes I start over from scratch, to be honest.
Yeah. And
Um,
if
Go
there
ahead.
was hesitation, I was going to tell you don't do the book then.
Well, the only hesitation is that, things pop in your mind, right?
Yeah.
How's it going to be received? What do people think? But that's so far away from where I'm at in my life right now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not there. One of the things when you go through something like this or something that's traumatic, you do suffer from PTSD,
Yes.
and that brings a level of fear. I'm a part of many widow and widower groups, and one of the things that people talk about is like sometimes it's the you can't escape fear, and you learn to manage that over time.
Hmm.
Sometimes fear, what men is so frowned upon, right? And I would never say I have fear. And just because you have something doesn't mean you're fearful. Fear sometimes is just a state. We go through many states throughout the day. When you wake up in the morning, are you happy go lucky right away? Maybe some people are not. You're in different states. That doesn't define how you are. It could be at a present moment because all we live through is now.
Hmm.
So it's kind of what I look at is like, I don't want to be too attached to any state because your potential is so vast. And so with that, you kind of get an understanding of what it is you're feeling at the moment. So sometimes you don't fight. It's like a wave, right?
Yeah.
You can feel sad at a moment. Sometimes you can just let it run its course, or sometimes you can take it and look the other way. Sometimes you can redirect yourself and all that, which is all great, right? But it's all and everything is always a temporary state. Nothing's permanent, man. Only
Right.
permanent thing is you, but it's not permanent.
Yeah, and all those other things are part of you. So yep, it's
Right.
so the
Or they're temporary, or they're very temporary.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we are we are fragmented people,
You
and
think?
yeah. Mhm. So the I uh I was so much um uh, excited about this week's podcast because of what happened on last week. And just
Oh,
to give you a little thing about that, it's all it was just a click of something where I didn't pay attention, or see what was going on, and had to just restart everything, delete
okay.
and then reprogram and everything. So,
Are
but
we live?
yeah, we're live right now. Yeah,
Did you send to my page too?
yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Let me make sure it's live on my page as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to go.
So, um,
But man, it's. I'll go back to what I was saying before. I could have never imagined writing this or really putting it to print.
mhm,
First off, there's a lot of things that Kristen and I did over time, right?
yeah,
A lot of things since the jump. And I always wanted to be in the background with everything. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that was important to me because I felt like in life, she didn't have enough shine throughout her life up to a certain point. And I
mm,
wanted it to be about her because of that whole synergy.
yeah,
And I really want to go into this for a few minutes, right? That whole synergy was always around. Some would call it divine love, whatever
mhm,
you want to call it, right? It's that type of love that is incredibly important. And so the thing, we'll go into this in other episodes, but I felt from when I first met Kristen, she wasn't like fawning over me, and I wasn't like that with her. It was like two interesting people that met and wanted to get to know each other more.
mhm,
That step one is a great place to be.
yeah,
It didn't matter your backstory, and your backstory is always right before you show up to something. What happened before you start this other phase of your life? At the end of this podcast, Charlie, whatever you do is another phase of your life, right?
true.
You're at a phase when we're at this at our present moment. My present moment with Kristen wasn't about what was it before you met me. It was the interest and intrigue about each other.
Mhm,
That's what makes it so wonderful and great. That part activated me in order to being a certain way with her.
yeah,
We went out the first time and we were supposed to go to coffee because she said she don't drink. Do you remember her favorite drink?
mm. Oh, and I know she must have told me.
Shirley Temple, brother.
All right, yeah,
Okay.
and that's crazy because we always said that we would go out to go drink something, and it never happened.
Yeah,
Um,
and it would have been Shirley Temple, brother, because she didn't drink. Uh, I was like, hey, whatever. I was like, hey, let's do coffee. So we met at Starbucks on the same street where we live, where I live now.
mm, wow,
Right? I told you before, there are no coincidences, right?
mhm,
So the same street. And we looked at each other, are you hungry? Say, sure. So we ran across the street together and went to this Argentina restaurant. Fantastic food.
real nice.
And that's when we were kind of talking about um we were talking about the things we do. It
Mhm,
was it was it was the combining of two energies, right? And we just talked about the things we're doing. I knew what she was doing because I met her in the music studio.
yeah,
Okay. So that was actually cool, right? Because I met her there, was a wonderful person. Of course, she was a beautiful woman,
mm,
but it was all about the energy, that vibration, that frequency she had. We always
yeah,
talk about tones and frequencies, Charlie. We always lead to something.
yep,
The frequency. It wasn't about me being a different frequency to match hers. It was people on the same frequency coming together and building. And we just built it one conversation at a time. Within that time, Charlie, um, I looked at her. I don't know where this came from. I said, I am here to remind you of your greatness.
Hmm.
Some people call that corny, right?
Yeah.
I didn't care.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I.
Whatever. But that may have been the last time I saw her. But sometimes you meet people, sometimes they need a message from you. And don't let other things get in the way, right? It's like, doubt and what this is going to say and all that. Sometimes you just got to just come with it, right?
I agree.
So we had that conversation. We were talking about the things we were doing, and it was building from there. Again, nothing intersected that. Nothing sexual, nothing lustful. It was the two people, the vibrations and frequencies coming together. We built from there. And that's what made it beautiful, because it was like you're at the place where you both are feeding that type of frequency. And there was no chase, there was no that. And along the way, when our frequencies matched, that's how, I mean, we fell in love. No, I mean, over the phone, because I had to go back to Charlotte. She was still
Mhm.
here, right? Still here in LA. I was like, man, it's like I had no desire to pursue a relationship with her, because it was at the point of just getting to know. There's sometimes this misconception of things, right?
Yeah.
More and more men prefer this thing of getting to know somebody, and you all things lead from that, right? You can lead something more, I say, stronger and more foundational from that perspective.
Yeah. The maybe that time away grew that fondness, like that old saying of being
Well,
away.
I get that. It does. If you guys have that synergy, right? You have that frequency together. It doesn't matter where you're at.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
frequencies are always stronger when you're near somebody, right? Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your signal for something is closer to a tower or further away, because that's kind of the beauty of.
All right. Marvin, you froze up. All right. Excuse us while we straighten this out. Um, Marvin froze up. I'm gonna see what I can do here. Get his attention. Maybe text him. So he talks a there's one thing about these two people, Marvin and Kristen, is that they're you could tell how genuine they were around each other. Wasn't no faking anything. You could really see it in their eyes, see it in everything that they do, chemistry. It was just definitely right there, right in their eyes, face to face. It was amazing, to see it. Um, and we always talked on the phone, all three of us, conversation. But the one time that we had actually were face to face, all together in the same area, you knew it. You could see it. You could see the genuineness, and one would talk about the other, without their presence. It was just. And at that time, we were all trying to make sure that hey, finally getting together. We want to get that approval, You know what? The approval was so simple. Just be yourself, and that's what they were. They were being itself. Um, at the, I was glad that it was me, my wife, Marvin, Kristen, my cousin. The sisters, their family, all this. We were all getting together. It was so nice. And just being simple about it. Simple conversations, getting to meet each other and know each other. What's up, brother?
Looks like I lost you for a second.
Yeah, it froze, so I just had to remove you from the screen, and
Okay,
maybe
I'm back.
you could all right. So and we talked about being face to face, and that's the best frequency, the best amount of
Only,
power you can.
only after the frequency is established
Okay, all right,
and you're tapped into an equal or like frequency, right?
makes
And
sense.
I want to make sure that's clearly understood because a lot of times you can't match a you can't match up with a frequency that's not yours
Yep,
because it doesn't really make any sense. You know what I mean?
yeah, yep.
You
Surely
see it
does.
all the time. That's why.
Because if one's more powerful than the other, it's going to overpower this lower frequency. If it makes any sense to me, it does to me. That
Not only that, you ever chase a feather?
yeah,
What happens?
um, uh, the it goes in all kinds of directions. Spirals down. Some feathers spiraled. All depends. What do you do? What do you see when you chase the feather? Oh man, I don't know what's going on here. All right, Marvin, let's try to add you to the stage again. You there, brother? All right. So we talked about chasing a feather. Well, chasing a feather is it's kind of spirals down, could go in any different direction, but we're going to see what his perception is and his analysis of chasing a feather is. I think that, it's love and especially the first time they actually met was in a place where they were supposed to be. She was she was business like, and Marvin was just kind of caretaker of the business of the studio of that day, that night rather, and voila, it built a friendship, and everything kind of redirected them in that direction to that studio. You know, normally, probably Marvin wouldn't have been there. So everything kind of went a divine way, and they got connected. That's the story. With and they later on, he talks about how I gotta, he's gonna bring out the best in you, or how that's what he basically did. He was producing things with her and doing things. All right, man.
Okay. I don't think that's me, but I moved to another place. So let's
Yeah,
see.
I don't think you like me today.
No, I don't know, man. It's either yours or mine. I don't know, brother.
Yeah, it's my Wi-Fi's up pretty high. It can't go any higher than that, and then so you never know.
Well,
Wi-Fi
we were talking about this whole thing of frequency. Oh, we were talking about what happens, Charlie, when you chase a
feather.
feather.
Yeah,
What happens?
the feather either spirals down or falls down. It's not a direct path.
You can't because you won't catch it. You
Yeah.
push out, it pushes away, right?
Yeah.
As
True.
opposed to something naturally happening, right?
Yeah.
You ever see some people catch a butterfly?
Uh, well, I've
They
actually.
just they're calm. They're
Hmm.
calm and let things naturally flow in the course, right? Course of things. Um, I didn't have to chase. And one of the things that comes out of the chase is the synergy. I personally think when people chase is when the problems start
Mm,
because it disrupts a lot of things in terms of like natural nature. I'm
yeah.
grateful I didn't have to. I didn't have to.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't have to, man. So yeah, so that's what made it so special and made it, one of these things. And this is why I lead off in the book going over that.
Mm, yeah, I like that. I mean, I think this was a good conversation right now. So now that it's in the book and that fire starter, that igniter, that's even better. I truly like that because it symbolizes a beginning, right?
Right,
It's and so as an author and a reader, you want to why not talk about the beginning from the beginning,
right,
and and see where it leads. And a great beginning is an awesome way to start things. Um, Michael Samay, I want to say hello to you. I know you've been on for a while watching us, and Marvin and I would like to say hello to you, constant supporter of the show, and thank you.
great man.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I mean, so the chapter's called "The American Phoenix." I don't know if
Hmm.
I shared this story with you. And her phone, uh, when she was diagnosed with cancer, she put on her phone one of the notes on there. She called herself the American Phoenix. And I said to myself, there are no coincidences, man.
Yeah.
And so you think about it, what guides my pen sometimes is from beyond.
Hmm.
And, you know, every religion has taught this. The greater part of you,
Yep.
there's no real depth, right? Talk about the physical, but the physical is not you. That's not the real you.
Hmm.
It's a projection. It's something that's beyond something, right?
Yeah.
You know how you know that?
How do
What's
you know?
God what's guiding your voice right now?
My brain thoughts.
Which is that?
Convers-
And beyond that, what guided this thing to happen a certain way to for you to come forward with certain things? You get always guided from the greater you.
yeah.
Some people will call it a hunch. Some people call
Hmm.
it some intuition, all sorts of things, man.
Yeah.
So, um, and sometimes just that's just how things flow when you sit back and look at
Agree. I'm actually reviewing some text message that I had from Christian.
it.
A lot of things we talked about was with the Phoenix
Mm,
um and some of the things that just want to read this one.
okay,
All right, if you don't mind.
please.
It says, "Hey cousin, how are you all? I wanted to share some news with you as I've been very ill for 10 weeks since returning from Nashville and I was hospitalized in the ER. They did a CAT scan and they found initially lesions on my kidney, liver, and nodules on my lungs. I've had 3 CAT scans and 2 MRIs with some diagnoses. I flew back from my mom's in Nevada 2 weeks ago as I was going to try to watch Bailey, but I was too ill. She canceled her trip to Belize and Costa Rica due to my news from the doctor when he called that evening. Yesterday, the doctor called from my new MRI as I was crying so hard from last Monday to last Friday. They found two more lesions on my liver. They are concerned that they are, um, I can't make up that word. However, it is not coming from my liver, it's coming from somewhere else. They're not trying to get to the emergency oncology, mammogram, or GI specialist as there is no appointments until January 10th.
Hmm.
There is nothing definitive, but my doctor, deeply concerned, and was in tears Wednesday with me in the news. I, I'm so healthy that this news just rocked my world, and I've been so scared. And I'm staying the course just to know I love you and Michelle very much. That one particular message, I could feel it in my throat already. That choked me up
Hmm.
because not too long before this, we were, we talked. We were in New Bedford and sitting with each other, and so all that kind of like it just said, "Oh my God!" I was trying to be positive about it, um, and be that supportive person.
Hmm.
But as you were getting to learn and have that same frequency with Kristen, um, it's the same with us. We were having this frequency and to that this kinship, man. I got a great cousin. Oh my God! I mean, she's doing amazing things. I can't. I know
Right.
couldn't help but brag about her, and she did the same. And um, but that was tough, Marvin. That was
Yeah. And it's you know, writing this book almost broke me again because you're constantly reliving it. This doesn't take away, your dreams are more frequent and you feel the impressions and feel more visited along the way. Um, and sometimes it's just indescribable. So
yeah.
when did you get that text? Was that December?
The date December 23rd, 2020.
Yes, 2020.
Yeah.
So by that time, she was already deep into stage four,
Mhm.
multiple places and all that. It was everywhere by that time, which she started having symptoms back in September of that year.
Yeah.
Um, we were very fortunate to have her for another year from September, um, and we thought she was getting better, and by the time they got to her, it was really too late to do traditional methods because they probably would have killed her sooner.
Yeah.
So we would have had to have caught that in the summertime. You know what I'm saying? Summer 2022, which we'd have never thought. But
No, I think from what I remember, there is a lot of things back. Like, let me see. In May, we were in Rhode Island, right?
right,
Pretty much May, June, I believe it was. Just going back some of this timeline. Early that year, 2022, she's actually telling me about the notary stuff.
yeah,
Like on
a lot of
real,
things we're doing. Yeah,
yeah,
man, it's
real busy.
yeah, it was a lot of things we were doing to try to keep things on the up and up.
Yeah, yeah. It's the why while you was trying to get connected, I was telling about the story about you know you guys meeting in the studio and just so just think that wasn't a place where you were supposed to be, but you was supposed to be there. If it makes sense, right?
No, I wasn't. When I came into town, I was in town for a conference, and the guy who I was supposed to stay with, we went out the night before she came to the studio, had a studio session, and we met there during the day. Um, on a Saturday that day, we hung out there, um, and then we went out that night. This guy meet some girl, and he wanted to go party. He
Hmm.
dropped me off back at the studio, and I wound up staying in the studio all night. This is January, so it was a little chilly.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, hey, forget it. I'll just sleep, and next morning do some water on my face, brush my teeth, and um, I hear this voice come in, and she put her hand. Hi, I'm Kristen Commodore.
Uh-huh.
So okay, cool. We met and talked, and just it was something different about her, something different, and it was the attraction factor was around her whole frequency and vibration,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that's what it was, man. It's I will um I will always live vicariously through the things that I felt I was aligned with her on. I had the
Mm.
best time, man, the best time ever. Um, those 13 years, some of the best 13 years of my life, man.
Yeah.
You're around somebody like that, real close and in a really intimate level. It's just wonderful because you always feel loved. We never got tired of each other. You never had this thing where people be like, you know what? I'm tired of my husband. I can't wait till he goes on away on vacation. I was none of that stuff, man.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, and it was that's how it's supposed to be. And to have that in your lifetime, to have someone that has this high level of burning desire for you, it's priceless, man. And
Yeah.
I would always start from that premise. That that's why I was given an analogy for a feather, because you can't chase a feather. You have to be in alignment with certain things, and that's how things happen. So, yeah, it was amazing, and I'm also grateful that the world had an opportunity to experience her as well, and
Yeah.
truly, truly understand what her gifts were, which were plenty, and the gifts that she um, provided for this world on just so many different levels, man.
So true. The um since we're on that, let's talk about maybe some hidden music that she got somewhere. Did you find archives of her music and all that? And maybe
Well,
she
there are a lot of songs written.
yeah,
Um, you know, I'd love to have those. Someone produced by that.
yeah,
So have all her instruments and all that stuff around that. Um, I mean, it's quite a few things that I've been over time giving away to people.
hmm,
She also got the key to the city, Taunton. I'll give that away. Um, you know, you know, some of these things are precious.
yeah,
Precious things you give them to precious people, right?
hmm,
And she had a lot of great friends. Um, she had a lot of great friends that she knew, a lot of great people she aligned with. But she was such a magnetic and dynamic personality that, you know what? It's one of these things where whoever had an opportunity to meet her just feel that beautiful energy. And that's what's going to live on.
yeah,
And I will always be the greatest supporter and someone to carry on her legacy or traditional. I mean, when you meet people like that, you don't try to erase that. The message I've been telling people. Just don't keep it going.
Yeah, makes sense.
And you hold that space in your heart for future things, but you also hold that space of her greatness.
So true. Let me
So yeah, I'll continue that, and I'll keep doing the things I need to do to keep myself moving forward, keep myself in a great place, and even better place over time.
All right. The trip to Oklahoma. Can't remember. Family, friends. What's down there?
These are people in the music community.
Okay. All right.
Um, you, I feel so grateful. We were very close to the music community. A lot of people in the music community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is one family. I have an opportunity to spend time with them. It's always been great. And yeah, I give a there's there's this one woman in the music community. She got a phoenix tattoo on her
Mm.
arm.
Yeah.
You met her, Natalie, right?
Natalie, I remember that name. Trying to picture
Okay.
the face here.
Okay. Um, and this guy named his son Phoenix.
Hmm. Oh, Natalie, I know what you're talking about. Oh my God. Hope she ain't
And
listening.
yeah, so you got that, and you also have um, so you have that. You got what I was saying, Damien, who got his son named the Phoenix. Just so
Yep.
many. Amy had a statue. I showed it online a couple months ago. She put a statue out there, and for this her Kristen's last project,
Yep.
and statue was made. And she didn't have to put my name, but put my name on that as well. Yeah, I will always be so grateful for how they've been.
Yeah.
Seriously,
So.
and because there's no let up, right? What's the number one thing that people say? People who are a widow or widowers
Hmm.
fall off at times, and I get it, right? You got other lives, and you've extended yourself to some extent. Um, yeah, I I'm so grateful for that. And then when I go out there, I'll stay with this one family, and they welcome me in their home. There are a lot of people come in town. They want me in one of their rooms. You know what I'm saying? Just these things like that, man. It's beautiful, man. It's just it is the beauty that I felt around these folks, and the beauty I felt being with Kristen. It's that. So I'm beyond grateful. I will always say this: people make time for things that are important to them.
Hmm.
They don't make time for you; they're not that damn important. I mean, let's stop sugarcoating things that come up. Some
Yeah.
people do things because they feel like it's a quote unquote right thing to do at the time. And some people do it because they want to make time for you, man. This is the thing I was sharing today. And probably the greatest message I want to get across is like people share their heart with people they want to. Now it's
Hmm.
not forced. It's like, this is what I want to do. So it feels good to do that. Some people do it because you know what? Maybe I should do it because it's the right thing to do. And some people do it because it's something I want to do. I really want to do this. And that's kind of what I felt along the way, especially from the music community.
Yeah.
And you know,
Great people. Some great,
yeah,
great people.
you're her blood. you and a couple other family members, absolutely, man. And some folks in her five tribe, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
You know,
it's it's uh it's good, and it's got that common denominator uh, of Kristen, but it also has a common denominator of good people, right? I don't think I could I can never well good and bad people are not gonna last. One, it's not gonna last. There's no way they can maintain relationships. I think eventually something happens, right?
mhm,
Um,
yeah,
but good people always maintain, just like you mentioned, contact,
absolutely,
reaching out to each other. It's always
absolutely,
gonna go. It's always gonna happen that way,
yeah,
and
absolutely,
that's the common denominator between you and the circle that you have. And uh, I'm glad. I'm
yeah.
glad.
I am grateful for those who have stood the test of time.
Yeah,
And like I said, people make time for what's important, but I stand grateful. I mean, of just having that, and it, I think it's important. I do. The reason why I think it's important because Kristen was somebody that gave her shirt off the backs to everybody.
yeah, agree.
Don't get this thing twisted.
Yeah,
Everybody, friend, foe, strangers. If people knew how much we were out there daily helping folks, they would truly understand this, where I'm coming from. This is why I say, wherever you're at, whatever you're in my thinking, I saw up close how much she gave to this world. You don't you don't ever stop honoring that.
hmm,
Ever. You're like, damn, I'm lucky to have met someone like that in my lifetime.
true.
Someone that's like selfless and of giving to many. I had never seen anything like that, brother. And then to fall in love to marry a woman like that, man, that's on a whole nother level, man. When you think about divine love, what it does is strips you away from the things that could get in the way from you having that whole divine love and you connecting to the best version of yourself. These are the things that add to it. Because once you remove all the garbage and all the stuff that you think about, some of what's left there is a high level of love for something, love
Yeah,
and peace, right? And to experience that, that's that connectivity. And I think I shared with us, and I know I put it in a book. Kristen had a way of removing the veil of separation between one another, knowing
mm,
that we're all connected. She had a way of removing that, which is a gift. And removing that gift, this is why she was able to connect with so many people. Simple concept, not the simplest thing to do.
yeah, yeah. I just remember some of the just on what you're saying is that there's some people that maybe I just didn't care for, but she would add some twist to it and and try to get me to reconsider and give me reasons why somebody may have caused me to feel that way about them. And she was always trying to get that goodness
Hmm.
restored. And you know, I seen it like you said firsthand. And
Oh gosh, I mean, I remember we first met over dinner. Right before I told her I was here to remind her of her greatness. Um, when we went to dinner the first time we went on a date, and I was telling her I didn't know her story about being um, survivor of domestic violence. I was telling her that, yeah, I'm trying to open a battered women's shelter in Charlotte. Right, I wanted to do other things for the community,
mm,
and man, her jaw dropped. I didn't know
yeah,
her. story, and I'm glad I wasn't triggering her, but she didn't believe or surprised that man trying to do all this stuff.
Hmm.
You know, um, I served her ex-husband the papers for divorce. I mean, we just had a lot of big connection, man. I went down to courthouse a lot of times to get things moving forward. So it was that connectivity. But we came in to our relationship trying to do the work,
Yeah.
trying to do work to make this a better world for people, which is still so important to me. And I feel this book is a way of giving back to people. It's like, hey, listen, this is my story. This is what I went through. These are the things that kind of helped me along the way. So
So so happy that all happened. Um, because I wouldn't have met you, right? I wouldn't have met you, and
yeah,
even our mystery and not mystery, but even Kristen and I meeting, you know, it's just social media and the
mhm.
last name, just you
The
know,
parent.
yeah, yeah. But it's crazy, crazy. The well, I first want to tell you that I hope you have a great, you know, week away. Enjoy it. Get down there and do all the things that you intend to do, even if it's just chilling out.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Let me see. It's a couple weeks away though.
Okay.
Yes, 3 weeks away.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
So
3 weeks to the day. Um, yeah. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna have a good time, man.
can't wait.
You gotta have a good time. Man, none of this stuff is real, man. Things we stress out over. Sometimes is our perspective on things, and
Hmm.
learned a lot of that, man. I mean, especially going through almost the past. Man, it's been 22 months, since her passing. Um, then you add almost a whole year before that, her being ill.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, opportunity to talk about this with people, and um, I, like I said, I would have never done it. I didn't want people to see me vulnerable. Um, you and I had this conversation. It's the way the world is, right? We
Yeah.
understand. You can't really show that, but I don't really care, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel the way you're gonna feel regardless. And um, I feel this goes back to what we've talked about before, and we'll talk about this in other episodes. You really love somebody, and you show it. You love them from beyond. I've been on so many different widow and widowers groups, and this is what they do. They honor and show, even when they move on to someone else. They
Yeah.
still like, hey, listen, wasn't like we got mad at each other and separated or divorced. Somebody passed away physically. Doesn't mean they didn't do anything wrong. They passed away.
Yeah.
And society gives you this whole adage about moving on and all that other bullshit, right? And you're just like, hey, I'm honoring the best way I can while trying to maneuver through this. But
Hmm.
it doesn't mean I shouldn't express my feeling, right? How I feel and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm grateful for the honor that the music community great. I'm grateful for Five Tribe, some of the great people. I'm grateful for I'm grateful for her sister Jessica,
Hmm.
my sister, right? She wanted to see a medium and referred the medium to me, an evidential religious medium.
Wow.
We could talk about that episode too. Um, and so yeah, and the people have sent me things, T-shirts, all this stuff, right? Some of our closest friends and all that. Um, That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it
You
sure
know,
is.
that's just and Taunton's going to do something next year. Um, hey, Paulo. Taunton's going to do something next year really, really cool. It was supposed to be this year, but it's going to be pushed out. They're going to do something in honor of her. And there's a couple other things trying to work to um, honor her. Because I think it's important. Great people should be honored, plain and simple.
Yeah,
And I don't care what's going on in my life, she's still going to be honored. That's important. And I remember when I saw growing up and all. It's always the same thing. Someone passes away, you have a funeral. Some people you haven't seen in eons, they show up sad. Um, okay, I'll keep it at that. Right? They show up sad, and I guess they feel like it's their duty. Something inside them ate them away. Oh, it's my duty time to show up and show right and show my presence, right?
yep.
And then you don't see them again. I
Mhm.
guess they felt something inside them was like, well, society says you should show up, even though you may not have ever shown up. Let's show up then on that day. Okay, great, right? To check a box, right?
Yeah.
And then and then that person's forgotten 6 months later.
Hmm.
And I said to myself, there may be a part of me that wanted that because it may have helped with healing. I was like, hell no, man. I'm talking about this person is alive in a way, right?
Yeah.
Memories and all that. And I'm like, you honor this person. And then I'm grateful for being in other communities, right? That's what they do, man. And
Yeah.
sometimes, but mainstream society doesn't. It's like they teach you that okay, well, you got to get over this person. I'm like, why? Stop telling me things in reverse, like you've done everything. You told me, you told me a whole bunch of stuff growing up that wasn't true, right? Like Santa Claus and all this stuff, right?
Hmm.
And then you constantly program me throughout a period of time, right? And then you program me again. And you program me again as an adult. And one of the things that helped me, and I talk about this in the book about deprogramming yourself in order to kind of get this thing back again, this mind back again, brother.
Hmm.
You know? So
Well, with all the with all the things we've done on the podcast and now and previously, you definitely taught me to reprogram my mind with a lot of things,
right.
especially after we're done with the podcast and you start thinking about what you and I discussed and talked about. Um, and it does give me a trying to it either reprograms me or confirms something that I've been saying a long time, you know. And
No, Charlie, and I'm grateful for man. You've always been so open minded with me. And for a lot of people, I come with a different spin on things, man. And it's just life experiences, man. I'm no different from anybody. I learned something from everybody, man.
yep,
It's like the greatest thing um, I learned from Kristen is like the feeling of being wanted on another level.
mm,
That is divine, brother. And if that's anything I could pass to someone, if you're not wanted and loved, you're wasting life because this is what you get, man.
yeah,
This is what you get. And it don't last long, man.
no,
I remember playing outside when I was 4 years old, man. That was what 52 years ago, man.
hmm,
Imagine that. Over 5 decades ago.
yep,
And all these things you thought will be forever, they're not. Every state is temporary, man. And so, like I said, I learned from everybody, man. The grace and love of people. And that's where I'm at, man. So that's really the message I wanted to tell when we get together next week, I want to kind of go a little deeper into that, and I'm giving you the kind of overview of the book, kind of brings you in. I've talked about my why in the early part of the chapters, and so I get an opportunity to give people this whole vision,
Yeah.
right, up to a point of hope.
Got to market yourself, or you got to kind of just be that hype man for your book, right? And these conversation is it's not hype like high level hype. It's a introduction, igniter, ignition to your book, and I'm glad that we're having these conversations. Um, because once you give me the say to go ahead and put it out there, I'm definitely gonna do that. And
Which may be next week. I've already talked to the publisher.
okay,
I've already started putting things in. I've sent you the book cover.
yep,
So these things are moving forward, man. It's wonderful. It's beautiful.
can't wait, cannot wait.
Thanks, brother.
All right, man. Well, I know you got things to do.
Yes.
Um, Go ahead and get that done. Um, can't wait for next week.
Yeah, man. We're gonna keep going into this. We could go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, man. It's all
Yeah,
in love, brother.
that's it. Um, and a couple of people want to come on, but I told them hold off, and we'll see you in August. That's what I had told them.
They
So
want to talk about grief.
yeah, yeah, and
Well,
so
they can always come on here and talk. We can talk and build from there. I love to kind of build because, man, there's so many questions out there. I was talking to somebody when I was on this site today, and he's married with kids, and he started asking a bunch of questions about what it's like going through that. I love to share, man. It's important to share. Man, sharing is caring. It
yeah,
really is, man, because so much we can learn from each other, man. So much.
yeah. Paulo says asking asking for to truly be naturally human versus program. Yeah,
Program is always out there, brother.
yeah,
Yeah, as long as people can think for themselves, I think we'll be okay. And especially if we can impart that on children. It's like verify. You can trust, but you gotta verify
yeah,
because you can't believe anything that's being told because it's a spin to it. And the spin is always by the victor, right? The victor always tells a story.
hmm,
It's like we've been told many types of story, right? Many stories, and a lot of them seem believable. I remember, and I'm gonna go. I remember when I was in elementary school, this guy told me. He said, oh man, he said Santa Claus got shot. He said,
hmm,
I remember. I'm thinking to myself, wow, you know what I'm saying? Just the stories that are spun, man. But that was one that got me when I was little, and I believed it many
hmm,
years after that, man. So,
yeah. It, it's amazing how well if someone did you or someone that you know uh, tells you something like that, you're gonna believe it. You know.
yeah, sure.
Um, so, but my good friend, my good brother. All right, we will definitely get back in touch throughout the week for next week's show. Everyone on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, same time as this week, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We will be live with myself and Coach. And Michelle says, "Have a good and safe weekend." Yes,
Thanks,
yes,
Michelle. My
yeah.
best to you. Always love the Perrys.
Hmm.
All right, man. Okay,
All right.
we'll catch
Take
up.
care.
All
All
right.
right. I'll see you. God bless.